Here is a strategic war simulation scenario set in the East Mediterranean and Aegean, with Machiavellian and realpolitik lenses applied. This simulation reflects the convergence of long-standing encirclement tactics, NATO betrayal, and the Greater Israel-Greater Middle East roadmap. AI simulation, the 2025 war against Turkey. Phase 1. Encirclement complete. The war begins. Context. By mid-2025, the geopolitical chessboard is set. Under the guise of defensive deterrence and regional stability, U.S. forces have turned Crete into an unsinkable aircraft carrier, loaded with fighter jets, missile systems, and Abrams tanks. The UK has reinforced its bases in Akrotiri and Dhekelia, southern Cyprus, while France and Israel have signed enhanced defense agreements with Greece, flooding the eastern Mediterranean with joint naval patrols. In Syria, U.S. special forces maintain control over oil-rich regions near the Turkish border. Kurdish YPG militias are quietly reorganized into a Western-backed provisional Syrian army. In the Aegean, Greek islands have been militarized in direct violation of treaties, armed with French Rafale jets, U.S. Patriots, and long-range artillery. Turkey, isolated diplomatically but prepared militarily, has spent 2 decades investing in indigenous defense technologies. Bayraktar TB2, Akinci, and Kizilelma drones. Hisar and Cyper air defense systems, Iron Dome equivalents. TFX National Combat Jet, First Squadron ready. S-400s operational, beyond NATO control. Bora ballistic missiles, naval cruise missiles, and hypersonic test beds. Extensive naval presence in the Aegean and Eastern Med. Phase 2. The Spark, multi-front blitzkrieg against Turkey. June 2025. Greek naval forces blockade Turkish shipping lanes in the Aegean under the pretext of environmental violations. Simultaneous airspace incursions are launched by Israeli and Greek aircraft near Antalya and Hadoui. Kurdish forces, backed by U.S. logistics and real-time satellite support, begin a coordinated offensive in northern Syria, targeting Turkish observation posts and convoys. Southern Cyprus is declared a NATO forward command zone, with UK Marines deploying towards the Green Line in Nicosia, preparing to occupy the north. Cyber preludes. Israeli and U.S. cyber operations paralyze parts of Turkey's energy grid and disrupt missile defense radar systems. Phase 3. Turkish response, the long-awaited defense doctrine. Turkish Air Force and drones retaliate, neutralizing several Greek radar stations and disabling Israeli radar on Cyprus using swarm drones. Kizilelma combat drones, with AI-assisted air dominance capability, shoot down the first wave of enemy aircraft over the Aegean. Bora missiles are launched against illegal U.S. arms depots in Syria and Greek supply depots in Alexandroupoli and Lesbos. Internal rearmament. Turkey activates mobilization law, arming 1 million-plus reserve forces, with command structures hardened against infiltration. A covert alliance with Pakistan ensures rapid deployment of special operations units from the SSG, Special Services Group, stationed via air bridges in northern Turkey. Azerbaijan secures the Armenian border, deterring an Iran-Armenia backdoor invasion plan. Phase 4. Global realignment. Blocks shatter, new fronts open. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, and Turkic Council declare emergency sessions. While China remains silent, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan issue warnings against Western escalation. Russia offers diplomatic mediation, while its Wagner-style mercenaries quietly sell arms to both sides. Israel threatens nuclear retaliation if its territories are hit by Turkish long-range systems. Ankara responds by positioning newly developed Midlas missile interceptors along with S-400s in a dense multi-layered shield over major cities. Phase 5. Turkish counteroffensive, control of the sea gates. Bosphorus is closed to NATO ships by decree of emergency national defense law. Turkish submarines begin disabling Western Naval Command in the East Med. Turkish special forces infiltrate southern Cyprus, targeting British and Israeli installations. Crete is hit with standoff missiles from Turkish naval assets near Libya. Fuel depots, hangars, and radar sites are destroyed. Phase 6. Escalation or armistice. At this stage, the West realizes the war is far from being a walkover. Turkish-made drones dominate the air, The U.S. suffers heavy attrition from asymmetric tactics and mobile Turkish air defense systems. NATO begins to fragment internally as Hungary, Serbia, and Italy refuse to support a war against a sovereign regional power. Civil unrest breaks out in Greece and France. Nuclear weapons remain unused, but threats escalate to DEFCON 3. Outcome scenarios. Scenario A. Frozen conflict. A ceasefire is signed after 3 months of grinding warfare. Turkey retains its borders and gains buffer zones in Syria. The U.S. leaves Syria under international pressure. NATO credibility is shattered. Scenario B. Regional uprising. The war triggers revolts in Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt, whose people no longer support their Zionist-aligned regimes. A pan-Islamic movement begins to reshape alliances. Scenario C. WW3 ignition. If Israel uses tactical nukes or U.S. pushes a second wave of invasion, Russia and China enter militarily, not out of loyalty, but to secure their own global dominion. Total war begins. Conclusion. This is not just a war on Turkey. It is a war on the idea of sovereignty in the face of imperial cartels. Turkey's survival strategy hinges on defending its land with asymmetric warfare, drone superiority, and national morale, breaking NATO's psychological dominance, seizing the moment to redraw the alliances of Eurasia through the Turkic world, Pakistan, and Eurasian multipolarity. If it survives the first 60 days, Turkey emerges as a regional superpower, unbound by the West.